Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on One Day, OneDoane, a day that we celebrate Doane by giving to support the life-changing education that Doane provides. I'm Ann Hageman, the Interim Alumni Director, and today I'm here with Doane's head track coach and Doane parent, Ed Fye. And he's going to share why he donates to the Doane Fund and give us some other information about himself. So Ed, do you want to start and talk about what brought you to Doane?
Yeah, well, Dan Koonsman was the admissions rep, and he came out to Doane to visit, not to Doane, but to Juanita to visit with me. But he was actually there to visit with Wendy Nordhausen, which was a friend of mine. And at that time, I really wasn't even looking to go to college. So anyway, he came in and talked to me. Tom Hood, which was a coach at Doane at that time, was actually at Hay Center, Nebraska, which had watched me compete and do things. Anyway, talked to Dan, and then we visited, and then Wendy and her parents decided to take a visit to Doane, and I jumped in the car with them, and we drove up to Doane and visited. And so anyway, I ended up coming to Doane and met with Coach Beile, and Coach Glenn was my Joe Glenn and Tom Hood at that time. And basically, because I got a free ride up here, I decided to come to Doane.
Yeah, those visits really solidify your decision, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, and the common theme through everything that I've had was the Doane relationship with Coach Hood. At that time, if he hadn't known me and watched me, I'd have never had a connection with Doane at all. So those connections are very important. And now that I've been here this long, it makes me realize that everything about Doane is about those connections.
Great. That's actually one of my questions, was to talk about who inspired you most during your time at Doane. So I don't know if you want to add to that, but
yeah, I mean, there was a lot of people at that time. I was very fortunate not only to have legendary coaches with Fred Beile and Joe Glenn that went on to win national championships at that time, and Coach Hood. But I also, once I graduated and come back, I was, the legends of Doane. There are people that I was a snot-nosed punk from Juanita, and I was sitting there learning from Joe Glenn and Tom Hood and Fran Schwenk, Fred Beile, Bob Erickson, Dave Dunnigan, and Dave Ziola, which was on my staff when I was here. All those connections, helped me become a coach and know what Doane was about, and what we needed to do to make kids successful at Doane, because all those guys are legends, coaches at Doane, and now I'm the old guy at Doane, trying to teach a few lessons myself, and two other people academically that really helped me through my process in the education program was Lowell, Dodd, and Doc Dudley, which taught me relationships and how to work with faculty, and how important the faculty and athletics need to work together in order to give our kids a tremendous experience, and not getting our kids caught in between either one of those, because everybody wants a piece of them. And here, I think they do a fabulous job of making sure that kid gets what we need to get him academically, but still at the same time giving him the experience of extracurricular activities with band or music or athletics that we have. But all those people are all legends at Doane that I was very fortunate to have learned under, and now I'm very fortunate and very passionate about taking their legacy and keeping those alive here.
And you're certainly doing that. Yeah, thank you. Do you want to talk about a special Doane memory that you have, or more than one, if you want to share?
Yeah, and I thought about that, and I think every time that our program makes a difference in a kid's life, those are good. And that's what we try to do with every single kid that's part of our program. You know, and hopefully there's so many of those, I really can't touch base on one single one, but every kid that comes in is just as important as any kid, whether they're a national champion or a kid that wants to be part of the program, because they all put in the same work and same effort. And you know, so to touch a life with, no matter whether it's an academic or an athletic or a personal problem at Doane, it's important that we're here as leaders and coaches, because they confide in us and believe in us, and we do the right thing and building amazing relationship with our athletes. Then we're going to be there for them, and when you are there for them, then it makes a difference for them in their lives. And hopefully we've been able to touch a lot of kids, and that's special to me.
Thank you. Maybe you can talk about being a Doane student's parent. As a parent, what do you value about Zach being here at Doane?
It was an interesting process going through the recruiting process with my son, Zach. Zach is pretty special, I think, academically. He's a gifted athlete. And we visited Wichita State, and we had Purdue, and we had the Naval Academy, we had Nebraska, and everybody looked at him, and I thought he had a lot to offer to everybody there. And it basically come down to him is that, he wanted to go where he could be challenged academically, and they could get him where he wanted to be athletically. And when we went and visited the University of Nebraska, I think that sealed the deal. Was, we went to their practice, and his mom and him go, "Dad, that's just like your practice." And I said, "Yeah, it isn't any different than what we do. They just start out with a higher level dude or gal than we do normally." And then we sat down for the scholarship offer, and they said, "Just because there's a big N on the building doesn't mean that we can get you any better than what your dad could at Doane, but we really would like to have you here." And I think that made him realize it doesn't really matter where you are to be as good as you can possibly be. It's just got to be the right fit for you. And then he ended up coming to Doane, and he's had labrum surgery, and he hasn't been able to compete. And he's gonna, like I said, he's gonna be a decathlete, which is a legacy a little bit with me and him. And but he's really navigated through that really well. His mom, Lisa, is a Doane grad, and the little brother, Landon, are excited to hopefully next year get to watch him start competing and help him build his own legacy at Doane.
Yeah, we look forward to that. That sounds great. In your opinion, what's some of the most important work that Doane is doing right now?
I think the biggest thing is learning to navigate through the pandemic. It's been a trying and a lot of work. We've had actually some alumni and with Nurse Kelly and Amanda Renshaw and Rachel, all working hard to make sure our kids are in a safe environment. And our athletic trainers as well, with Michaela and Ethan and Kelsey and Spencer, have done a great job of making sure our competitions keep moving forward. And Jeff Johnson is our new athletic director, which is also a Doane alum, has done an amazing job to be able to keep our sports moving forward. And it's because of them and the administration. And once we get with them, and again, the most important thing is, those people are learning to deal with our faculty and our coaching staffs, and we're doing everything we can to teach kids via Zoom. And it's been difficult because there's a lot of anxieties and a lot of things that I've dealt with that I haven't had to deal with in the past, with kids, having the self confidence and things they need to do to be responsible enough to jump on a computer to learn. And my son was watching a deal at home the other day, and he was a little upset because he missed 2 questions. And he says, I never really realized, he never got asked. It was a Zoom deal, and it was pre-recorded, and he never got asked any questions, and that's a big thing with going face to face, is you get asked questions and learn from your mistakes and the things that we have. So it has been a little tougher on our kids and to do that, because they don't get asked the questions and the things that they want to do. So it hasn't been a great experience, I don't think, for anybody to be able to do that. But the trying time and the faculty and everybody working together, Doane's making the best of that, and still giving our kids as great of experience as we can with the pandemic.
Thank you for your thoughtful answers. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us about Doane?
One thing that's always important is legacy. The people that have been here, their sons, their daughters. I've been here 40 years now, so I've been able to see a few of those people coming through. And even when I'm recruiting, and when Fred Beile and I was taking over for him with the program, I found out soon that the tradition at Doane is the legacy and the people that you get here to try to give them the same experience. And right now we have over 20 plus on our track team alone that are legacy people. So that's really important to me, to make sure those kids of people that have been here have the opportunity to come here and build on their parents' legacies as well. And hometown is also, and the local kids, because they tie into the school. We have 9 kids from Crete on our team, and it's been awesome to watch those kids. Zach's class had 5, and I've worked with them since they were playing flag football, and it was fun, because this last weekend, perfect example, is Zach Turner beat the fastest kid in the nation as a freshman. And I've been able to watch him. So those things are important when it's local, because I know their parents and again, the legacy and the local people. So that's really important to me as well. And then the community, with Dan Papik and Tom Sorensen and Paul Shellstraight, Dave Halling helps us, and Josh McDowell, the superintendent, is a Doane alum that really works with Doane people, and Strachey at the bank, and Mike Pavelka. And there's so many people that help us at Doane and donate to us. And that's what's important. So with the legacy and the local kids and the community, it's so important that with a day like this, that you realize that one day that we can give back to Doane. And that's what keeps me here, is what Doane has given me, is that I've been taught that you need to give back to the people that have given to you. And everything I've gotten is from Doane. And I think there's a lot of people in the same boat that I am, that got a tremendous experience being at Doane. And the way we give back is by giving, whether it's a donation or, I have a track meet, and it looks like a Hall of Fame workers out there. We got national champions and all people helping us run meets off. And and this one day is something that you may not see the impact, but as a coach and faculty and administration, that money does go to kids. And like I said, the thing that's the most important to me is being able to give a kid an experience that they can't get anywhere else, and that you touch somebody. And we do that a lot with the money that you guys give us.
Great. Thank you so much, Ed, for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you guys. Let's get this done.
Today, I'm here with Zach Fye, a current Doane student. Hello, Zach.
Hi.
Why don't you tell people what brought you to Doane?
So what brought me to Doane? Well, my dad's been a coach here and went to college here, obviously, and my uncle Marty did as well, and he's now at Doane again. So what really drew me to Doane, outside of the high level of education and athletic standards that Doane has was kind of was the fact that I could continue a legacy that my family has built at Doane for a really, really long time, and to continue to build, hopefully, on the list of things that the Fyes have done at Doane.
Great.
So,
Thank you. Besides the people that you mentioned, do you want to talk about other people that inspire you at Doane?
some people outside of my dad and my uncle that have been very influential for me at Doane. Start off probably with Cody Vance. From the time I started to come to practice in Doane volleyball, basketball, track meets. That's been a consistent smile that really represents what Doane is, and it's about family and about building relationships. I can't tell you a time that I've seen Cody and he hasn't smiled and gave me a big hug, and so that's just a small part of the type of relationship that Doane can offer you, and yeah.
Yeah, people often talk about the community of people that we have at Doane. How has Doane helped you achieve your goals?
It's been a bit of a trial and error semester, and started the second one. But so far, because we haven't really had a chance to go to class with a ton of people or compete a ton. But as far as accomplishing my goal of getting out of here with a degree and the future that I want for myself, even with the COVID guidelines and everything, Doane's still provided me an opportunity to learn uh, in a liberal arts institution that encourages all of uh, the other views, helping shape your own identity at Doane. And I'd say that's the one thing, despite all this, that Doane has done is I had my belief system from high school that I got from my parents, and it was great. But Doane, and part of being a liberal arts institution, has really encouraged me to hear all of the different ideas and ethics to shape uh, who I will be after college. So,
Thanks. In your opinion, what is some important work that Doane is doing?
the thing that always pops into my mind when I think about what Doane is doing for Creed itself, and I think is important. Uh, I think it's important that Creed and Doane have a great relationship and support each other, because there's only 1,000 of us on campus. But I think of the hours that students give in our schools, and the hours that students give um, to help run the community. You see, like last over Christmas break, it was a volunteer basis, kind of the track team had gone out, scooped driveways. When we had the big snowstorm, we were trying to get people out that were stuck, and that's what I guess that's all I got for that one. I'm sorry.
No, that's good to mention that connection between Doane and the community. I think that's important and kind of unique, I think, with our school. How about some special Doane memories? Do you want to talk about special Doane memories?
I have a lot of those, so it should be a little easier. But I'd say, and a lot of my Doane memories come from sports, just because that's what I've been around until really this year. But the special Doane memories that I had, where it was at a conference track when I was little little boy, and we needed to win the 4x400 meter relay to win and sweep conference. And we were at Bob Devaney in Lincoln, so not at home. And all of a sudden, you just see all the parents and every single person on the track team or community member that came to watch them meet, lining up around the track and just cheering. Like it was some of the loudest track cheering that I've ever been a part of, and because track really doesn't have all that many fans, but just to see the outpour um, of support from everyone that had came to that meet and what it meant for everyone to come together. That's one of my best memories. That and being here every day after school till about 7th grade, and constantly getting fruit snacks and Gatorade in the old Fear field house. So, yeah.
That's great. Thanks. So today we're here talking about One Day, OneDoane. Why should students support this day of giving?
Students should support this day of giving because of the opportunity that Doane is going to give them to be successful. Um, we talk about our graduation rate and our job placement rate, and that's only a small part of it. Doane is going to give you relationships and ideas that will help you be successful outside of your profession, and to be a upstanding member of your future community. Because I see it every day, basically every day with my dad. His Doane community um, is pretty much in every small nick and crack of Nebraska and the Midwest, and that's what's so special, because Doane, uh, isn't a huge college, but you just see those connections that grow everywhere after college, and that's what's so special about Doane is the uh, the opportunity that Doane gives for you to build relationships that last. So that's my spiel.
Thank you. So is there anything else that you'd like to share about Doane?
Uh, it's the most beautiful campus in the Midwest, as old Cody Vance would say. And if you are thinking about supporting Doane, um, or I don't know who's watching this, but possibly coming to Doane, it's definitely it's where you should go, and it's who you should support. So that's what I'll leave it at.
Great. Thanks, Zach, for being here and helping us promote One Day, OneDoane.
Absolutely.